Good morning, and welcome to A Better World with Julann and Fran. I'm Julann.
And I'm Fran, and our guest today is Jay Herzog. Welcome, Jay.
Thank
Welcome.
you. Thank you.
And what's something that you are doing or have done that has made the world a better place?
Well, I hope to think there's a couple of things we could talk about. At the moment, although it is starting to get exhausting, to be quite honest, and my wife and I are thinking about changing what we're doing at the moment, but we have our 36th dog foster upstairs
Wow.
in our home. Uh, and I have, I about 8 years ago, yeah, about 8 years ago, I adopted my dog, who is from Kuwait. And just because we both found a dog, cute little story, but we said we weren't going to get a dog for like until after the summer, and this was February. And I found a dog on one website, and I told my wife, I know we had agreement, but I really want to look at this dog. In about 2 minutes, she sent me another dog that she found on a website because she too was cheating, and it was the same dog. So,
Oh,
Oh,
well,
so
that's
anyway,
cool.
yeah. So little touch of we need this dog, and I drove everybody crazy at the rescue, saying, "I'm getting this dog. Don't even think about giving it to anybody else." Uh, but I got involved with, I've always loved dogs. Ever since I lived on my own in grad school, I've had a dog. And so when we got our dog and it came in from Kuwait, I got to meet the people in the rescue. And we were servicing basically Baltimore, Washington, D.C. area, almost all of our dogs. And at that point, they had placed about 400 dogs from Kuwait over about 3 years, I guess. And I got involved, and I started flying over to Kuwait and gathering dogs from the rescuer over there, bringing them here to the United States, arranging with the U.S. government import stuff, which unfortunately during the pandemic all stopped. We couldn't bring dogs in from Kuwait anymore, so we stopped doing that. But now I continue working with another rescue, local rescue in Baltimore. So we've been saving dogs. We've been doing a lot of that. So that's a big thing.
that
Uh,
definitely is.
yeah,
Yes.
and I think we just kind of realized this week because we have a foster who's got a lot of fun. He's a great dog. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of needs, medical needs that have to happen. And I'm realizing that I really want to go biking the other day, and I couldn't because I couldn't leave the dog. Uh, so kind of gaining back my life a little bit. So I don't. I'll still work with rescue, but I'm going to do
Right.
it not as fostering, but doing paperwork, moving dogs, going down to places and meeting people midway between here and North Carolina or Virginia, and doing some transport work. So that's my goal now with saving dogs.
Mm.
Uh,
That's
but
great.
we retired our rescue with about 800 or 900 dogs.
Wow, that's great.
Yep. So and I was on the board of that for 4 years, so very active doing that. So that's one thing. And I want everybody to never, ever, ever go to a dog store as long as they live.
Yes.
And
I
rescue
agree.
dogs, there's a million of them out there, and we're going to be seeing an influx of dogs from the Middle East, as well as the United States has plenty of dogs in need. So
Yeah.
that's my word.
That's
Now,
it.
when you foster, on
Yeah.
average, how long is a dog with you?
So in the 36, it's kind of very liberal, right? I consider any dog that walks into my house for a night to be a foster.
Okay.
And there's a few of those because I go to Kuwait and there's 3 or 4 dogs that need a place to stay. So we bring them home, we crate them, we take care of them, we slowly distribute them. I've never had that many, but with my dog, we start adding up. We had 5 dogs in the house the other day, but we were dog sitting, so that's why there were so
Ah,
many. Um, so um, and then I guess Bruno was a German Shepherd that we took through double knee surgery,
ooh.
and he was here for just about 4 months. So I got him about a month prior to surgery and nursed him through about 3 months of surgery. And then one of our other volunteers actually came along and said, "I want the dog." So he's got a great home up in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
So
Oh,
so I'd say one day, not a lot, one day, but mostly 2 weeks, a month, and a few that have gone 2 months, 3 months, and 4 months.
That's
Yeah.
great.
and do you have to find the the place that the dog goes to from you?
So the rescue does. So
Oh,
when I was on the board and working with the rescue, that kind of became part of the job. But we had a really good footprint in the area. So people were actually coming to our websites to get dogs.
hmm.
We were very visible. We're out at every festival and every place we could go. So we were kind of known, and we're putting out some good dogs. So people were looking for us. No,
Hmm.
no puppies because everyone wants puppies,
Yeah.
but
Right.
you can't bring over a dog into the United States from outside until they're at least 6 months old and finished with their rabies shots and all that kind of stuff. So they're all usually 9 months, a year, and some of them we brought over. Uh, if we have time for a very quick story, I was in Kuwait and one of the dogs got sick, so I had to choose from the two other dogs that were already cleared to get on an airplane to come to the United States. And the rescuer over there says, "You choose."
Hmm.
I'm not choosing. I don't want no. That's like in a terrible way. I said that's my Sophie's choice.
Yeah.
I've got to leave one behind.
Yeah.
And finally, after calling to the United States and talking to my partners, they said, nope, you have to choose.
Hmm.
So the answer was which one was oldest. Oh no, which one has been there the longest? That's what it was. And we
Okay.
brought back this dog. And about 4 weeks later, we used to do a lot of dog walks. We used to sponsor just let's get together and take all these dogs for walks together as a group. And I looked and I said to my friend, I said, that dog's pregnant.
Oh,
So I say, in making a decision to save one dog, I actually saved nine
Right.
because there's a litter of eight.
wow.
So good
See?
choice.
Yeah.
Cute little story.
Yeah.
Um, Other things that I do to save the world, I am a liver transplant recipient. And I know when I was very, very ill, I thank Fran. Fran was very healing to me, doing some phone hypnosis and caring about me, which is a lovely connection that I always remember. Thank you.
That is very nice.
And I found out that I had a very rare disease, and I found out basically because I wasn't feeling went to the hospital, and they said, by the way, you need a liver transplant.
Oh, goodness.
So I came home, told my wife, we talked to our kids. My elder son was in college, just in college, and my younger son was in high school. And I found out that there was something called a living donor. I didn't know. I knew about kidneys, but I didn't know that you could get a living donor for a liver. And up until about 2 years ago, my son told me I could never tell anybody that he was my living donor, my older son. He wanted to keep it.
Oh,
He wanted to keep it secret. He didn't want anybody to talk to him about it. I mean, people who had to know knew. Uh, and we arranged for him to take not online classes, but to catch up with work when he got back to school. So about 4 weeks, 5 weeks after surgery, he went back and took classes, just two to make life a little easier. But so I spent a lot of time after that, and I'm well. I'm doing well, and I've spent quite a bit of time. I go to a class at the I work at Towson University. I just happen to be wearing a
Very
sweatshirt.
nice.
A
Very nice.
little plug.
Shout out.
There you go. So I do that, and I talk to a class. It's not really death and dying, but that's what they're talking about at the time. And so I go with Donate Life Maryland, which is where I live, and I go and I talk, and they talk about this is how it works, and this is the process, and this is what organ donation's about, and tissue donation, and then I make them cry. That's my job
oh,
by telling them my story. No, I should say I make me cry. I have never, ever, ever told my story and
Okay.
mentioned my son and not cried.
oh,
Yep. And he's doing great, by the way. Just,
oh,
he, as
Nice.
that's,
soon as he was able to drive, he's 100%. So doing good things.
well, bless him. Bless him for
Mhm.
doing that.
Yeah.
That's really a beautiful gift.
Yeah. So I do spend time, a little less now because I just busy with everything. But I did a lot of talking about organ donation. I worked at a lot of tables at festivals. I used to go to the hospital and hand out information, which you think is easy. But oh my
No.
God, they situate you outside of urgent care. And if people want, they come and talk to you about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Like you don't force it on them because of course
Right.
they've got real concerns at the
Right.
moment. Uh, And so you sit there or other festivals or talk to people about it. So I've spent a lot of time talking about organ donation. I wear T-shirts. I let my students know that I am, because it's now 11 years ago, so it's not like everybody knows it. So
Right.
I talk about it, and I bring it up in my classes. I talk to students about it. I don't force it on them. I just wear a shirt, and they go, "What's that about?" Open the conversation. I don't force it on them, and
Right.
uh, and they always follow up with some questions. I was sitting with a new colleague the other day in my car, and I said, "Oh yeah, well I'm a liver transplant." What? And wanted to know more. So that's another thing that I do.
Yeah, that's a great thing. That's really a great
Yeah.
because people have actually asked me why I filled out my license as an organ donor.
Hmm.
Why then they won't save you? I said, I don't, that's not how it works.
Right.
If God
Exactly.
forbid something is so bad, I mean,
Yep.
I've got things
Well,
going on, so who knows? But anything you
yeah,
can do to help, I feel like.
yeah. I think the biggest issue with organ donation is just that people don't know the truth about things like that.
Right.
They think doctors will let you go. They also think that religiously they're not allowed to do it, and they're wrong in 90% of the time.
Right.
I know that there's an entire organization of Jewish men. It's a mitzvah. They donate their kidneys.
Nice.
So yeah, there are religions that don't allow it, but very, very few, and it's just a lot of myths. So we also try to dispel myths wherever we can. I think that's a big part of the job.
Yeah, I think
Even,
sorry, you
no, go
go.
ahead.
Well, I
Oh,
think
no.
sometimes when people are afraid of something, they sort of cling to the fallacies
Mhm.
because they really want them to be true so that they don't have to do the thing that they feel afraid of doing.
You could
Hmm.
do a little research.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you
A
don't have to
little.
believe everything on the internet, but
You,
there's ways that you can actually get accredited, good
uh,
information if you're really interested in helping. Even blood donation, that's an easy one. You
yep,
know?
it
I
is. By the way,
Blood,
I don't know
platelet
why it says owner down here. I have no idea
We
how
don't
that got
see,
there.
does it?
Oh, you
Well,
don't see it? Oh, mine says
I
owner.
see it in your other corner.
can you
Owner
see
of
what's
what?
on my screen? Because
Yours
it's,
It
says
says your
Julann
name.
Tennish.
Yeah,
oh, I don't know why it has to have my name in case I forget who I am, maybe, or whatever.
it's
I
so
got to
we
fix that.
remember.
Ah, is that it? Okay.
That's how I knew your name wasn't Julianne.
Oh, everybody puts an I or an extra E. You know,
I'm sure.
they've never seen that name before, so
Yep.
I'm looking forward to seeing you, Fran.
Oh, good. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
I'm going to see Fran on Friday. I'm very excited.
Yes, I'm going to see Julann on Saturday.
Up, Julianne just froze.
Yes, I think she is frozen, but she'll be back. There
Oh,
she
there
Okay.
you
is.
go.
Fran,
Yeah,
I'm
and I guess the last thing that I think I do, the good thing is, I'm in my 39th or 40th teach year as a college professor in teaching the arts. And there's lots of things I could have done. I grew up, my mother was an artist. As a matter of fact, that's one of her paintings back there. It's an
Oh,
image of my
wow.
oh,
father looking at sexy girls on the beach, just so you know.
nice.
Yeah. So now I have to adjust my camera again. Uh, but so I grew up in a home. My mother was an artist and a stay-at-home mom took care of us. Other than at 7 p.m., we weren't allowed in the kitchen because that became her painting studio.
Nice.
That was it. Snacks were on the table, leave her alone. And then the my dad was an attorney and for the city of New York, and then a federal court judge. And it was lovely that my parents both looked at me and said, do what your heart tells you to do.
Oh,
Never questioned it. Uh, my sister became the doctor, but she was also studying dance when she was at Brooklyn College many years ago.
He's a dancing doctor. That's a good one.
She's a dancing doctor. I don't know if she dances anymore, but well, her son actually grew up in dance. He was doing ballet for years.
oh,
Now he's a doctor as well. So the whole family's doctors.
oh, well,
My whole family are.
I
Yep,
bet they're both in great shape.
yep, they're doing well. And
Good.
my kids are both artists. One's a
Oh,
cinematographer and one's a drummer.
I
So
love that.
Nice.
I
yeah,
love that.
Drummer. Can I tell
yeah,
you a joke?
sure. Not like he hasn't heard them all, but go ahead.
Okay, we'll see. What did the drummer name his twin daughters?
Tom, Tom,
and a one and a two.
and a two. And a
I'm sorry, I
one
couldn't
and a
resist
two.
because you
No,
mentioned.
that was good. I have not heard that one.
See that? You can tell him later when you talk to him.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Thank you
he'll
for
say,
doing kind things. Not
yeah,
enough people. It doesn't have to be something, although the things that you're doing are great. Little things, just little things. If we can get everybody to be a little bit kinder or, just, I don't know, don't be rude. You know what I mean? Just little tiny things or big things like you're doing. My nephew fostered a dog. Um, his wife she passed away from cancer. She was 34.
Oh,
And
goodness.
they have they just had a surrogate baby, and in addition to all of that, they fostered a dog, and they kept him because he had medical issues, and nobody was adopting him, so they kept him.
foster fails. They're
Yeah,
big.
yeah. He's a
Yeah.
great dog too. He's got a lot of energy, but he had some, medical issues and things like
Right.
that. So it's kind-hearted, because a lot of these dogs have issues. That's why no one adopted them. And if you love them and, try to find them
That
a
is,
good home, that's really a great thing to do.
that is true.
Thank you for
That
that.
is very true. Yeah. Thank
Yes.
you.
And dogs are the closest to God that you're ever going to get, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. And, about teaching, sure, I teach theatrical lighting. That's what I do. But
Same letter.
that's not what we do. Right. We always hear, why is your kid going to school for arts and theater? And it's like, God, we're making them human. And, I always tell my students, I'm not here to teach you lighting. As a matter of fact, a lot of my students in my classes are not lighting students. They're actors or they're doing something, they want to be directors. And I hope that when I open up my mouth, I try to teach them things like why we're doing this and why it's so important in our culture. And the other day I talked to them. We talked about Broadway. Because a lot of students they haven't been to New York, they haven't been to Broadway, and there were a couple of room students who did. So I asked them who George M. Cohan was, and none of them knew. So we stopped our lesson completely, and we talked about why George M. Cohan has a statue in Times Square.
Oh,
Whatever,
well, thank you. And
whatever, whatever it takes.
absolutely.
Right.
And you also mentioned with another lesson that you have them watch the movie Mighty Aphrodite.
Yeah, with our
W-
old professor, Fran. F
w-
F
with
Murray. Oh, F
oh, he's in
Murray.
it. Oh, I don't
Oh
know
yeah,
that.
yeah. He has a great opening. Yeah. So basically, there's a playful mock of the chorus of the Greek chorus at the very beginning, in which Murray plays the head choral person, and he yeah he's in that. But yeah, you try to introduce them to things that they think old theater. Like Donna was just watching, my wife was just watching a production that's on for like 2 weeks of the importance of being earnest.
Hmm.
And, I look at it and I go, ugh, not again. So I didn't watch it. But I watched a little bit of it. And it's like, it's the National Theater. They're finding ways to modernize things. They're finding ways to bring younger people in. And we try to do that at the university too, because it's really hard to sell. It's hard to sell theater at a university. It's really weird,
I bet.
Wow.
especially a university that's in a city, because there are other things to do.
Sure. But art is not a luxury. Art is a necessity. It's the way people express themselves. And it doesn't even matter which art feels the best to you.
Right.
But you need an art of some variety. And I think it should be a crime that the first funding that's cut in schools is the arts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. We have 3 art galleries in our building. The students walk by them 20 times a day. So, matter of
Mhm.
fact, one is right outside our office, and the other one's right underneath, and then the other one's right in the little atrium where they go have lunch or they sit and they have coffee. And I'll look at my class and say, "So what did you?" I'll purposely. So what do you think of the art exhibit that's in the gallery? And they'll look at me and go, "Huh?"
Oh,
And I will close class and say, "Okay, our lesson's over. We're going to go visit the galleries." And I'll tell them, if you don't take in all the arts, then you have no vocabulary, for learning and talking. So that's another thing I do. So I feel like I want to be a whole teacher and not just a teacher in a subject that not everybody in the classroom really cares about, because they're just kind of, they're required to take a design class, some of them. And so I try to make it more than just, you know, how electricity works.
Well, I have never had the privilege of being your student, but I have had the privilege of working with you as a stage manager and a designer. And I was working on that production of Little Mary Sunshine. I was the spotlight operator, the one where what was
I
it that
tell that
happened?
story all the time.
Would you tell it again now? The good story.
Sure. It's funny. I always tell, I used to, I taught stage management at the university for 13 years. So I told the story all the time. And the point of my story that I actually told was that the day that that incident happened was the only day that I did not dress nicely.
Oh my God, then you had to go out. But what
I
was
had to
it
go
this
out on
this
stage.
Yeah, you have to tell me the whole
So,
thing. I don't know it.
all right. So, Little Mary Sunshine, there's a TP on stage, and there's trees that come in, and the scene takes place outside. It's a play that you probably don't want to do anymore because it's really probably not as politically correct as you want to go to. Uh, but there's trees, and then the trees fly out, and the TP goes upstage, and meanwhile, this huge wall is coming in, and it's going to take place in Mary Sunshine. I don't know, it's a cute little thing of all the girls singing in a bedroom. And the wall comes in, and two big wagons with the sidewalls come in, and the TP hit the wall coming in, and then the trees got stuck inside of all that kind of stuff. And all we heard was a big cracking noise. But the worst part of it is that the wall is supposed to come in like this, right? And touch the floor. I love having boxes to work with. But
Yeah.
no, it came in like this,
Oh.
which means that the cable that was on this side at any moment could drop. And so it was my stage management premiere, actually, first time I ever did it. And I had to stop the show. I had to get people off stage. I had to do all this stuff, and then had to go out and talk about it. Then we had to take a break. We took a little bit of an intermission, and we were able to clear it up. And I said to the audience basically that we're going to go without a specific piece of scenery that returns later in the show, and that was it. But it was pretty scary, actually. I think there was about 12 to 15 young uh, students out there, and the weird thing about it is I don't think they really knew what was going on. I think they heard about why we stopped the show, but they're
Right.
facing downstage. All this is taking place upstage of them.
Yeah.
Um, I also was foolish, and I ran across the stage in the total dark to be a hero, to check the line sets that pull up and down the scenery, and I literally hit a fence that was there, this little fence, and I hit it, and I literally flipped over it, bounced off the floor, and kept going,
Did
uninjured. But
Were they able to see you, the audience? No.
so we were able to bring in the theater, the Gershwin Theater at Brooklyn College has a front curtain. So that's the first thing we actually did,
Okay.
is we
Okay.
brought in the curtain to separate that. The funny thing about that story is I went to see Blood Brothers, the musical, in New York. And at the opening of act, again, I tie this with my students, the opening of act two, uh, the the adult actors, the young adult actors, play little kids. They're playing, like, I don't know, fourth graders. I forgot the whole exactly how it goes. And they come on stage, and a big wall comes in. And the lead actress, who was actually nominated for the Tony Award that year, got hit in the head, knocked out cold on the stage.
Oh my goodness.
And so when I
On
saw that, I
opening
was like,
night? Wow.
yeah, yeah. It was one of the previews. It was like just
Oh,
before it opened.
oh my
It was
goodness.
because I did a right out of Brooklyn College. We had a friend, Julianne, she had an I in her name, who who it invited me to go do an internship on Broadway for a casting agent, casting director at an office. So I got to see a bunch of shows for free that year. So that's why I was in that theater watching that show.
Nice.
So yeah.
Well, you're probably the most fun professor that your students ever have.
I think so.
I like to think I'm better than the physics folks. Although there was a physics and astronomy teacher at Towson that was absolutely hysterical and funny. And my dentist is the funniest guy in the world. And I have to go get a tooth extracted tomorrow morning. And I don't even care because it's going to be some
Right.
good jokes.
You don't need laughing gas. You've got laughing.
I
You're
do.
laughing anyway.
Personality.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. There are lots of good
Okay.
people out there.
Oh, thank you so much for all that you're doing.
Really appreciate
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah.
It's
And I will say the dog thing is not me. It's me and my wife.
right.
You know, it takes the family to do it. The
Yes.
kids are out of the house, but it does take the family to do it. And my kids are always coming over, the one that doesn't live in New York, more to meet the dogs and spend some time with the dogs. So
Hmm. That's so sweet. Is it ever difficult for you to get rid of a foster when they get a permanent home?
oh, my wife cries.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would
she
cry
cries.
too.
She gives them a lecture. She talks to them in their face and tells them what their life is going to be like and not to worry every single time. I will tell you, there are some dogs that we want to get rid of. They're not a good match. They're not a good match
Right.
with our dog or our cat. We have an 8-pound cat who's like the bravest thing in the world. We get a new dog, the cat comes down and just goes, "Hi, who are you? And do I like you?" Um, so not very smart for an 8-pound cat, but yeah. But we've had some difficult dogs. We had one dog that needed eye surgery, and they
Oh,
told me that I need to put drops in its eyes 4 times a day. And this dog was so strong that I couldn't handle him, so we just had to. He went for training, and he's doing well. But so that happens. So there's some dogs. It's like, oh my God, thank God that dog is gone. Um, and some dogs we get very emotionally attached to. The dog that we have right now has got, he actually got into a fight with one of our friend's dogs that we're watching right now. And,
ooh.
you know, it happens every now and then, and it's fine. Nobody got hurt, but my wife and I had to break it up. It's the first time she's been involved with a dog fight. I've been in a couple, and it's the first time we've ever had one at home. So I think she's kind of like, I'm done.
Yeah.
So
What do you
I do think we're going to stop fostering, and I'm going to find other ways to
to
help.
help?
Yeah,
Right.
I think it's time.
Well,
I'm 67 years old. I could stop now.
yes,
67 years young.
that's
That's
right.
true. That's true, Fran.
We're
And you're
not
so
old,
much
we're
younger than
classic.
me, if I remember correctly.
I am 63.
Yeah. 'Cause-
Julann and I are only 5 days apart.
oh, happy birthdays when they come.
Thank you.
Thank you. And happy birthday to you. I know yours is in November.
How do you know all these things?
I have synesthesia for
Ah,
birthdays,
Yeah.
interesting.
so I can see time.
Wow.
So
Cool.
time goes, in my mind, time goes from my right shoulder forward, and your birthday is right around there.
Pretty
That
cool.
I
bizarre.
always, I always wondered what that would be
Cool.
like. I'm a lighting designer. I thought it'd be interesting to have synesthesia for a little while and just see what happens.
I
I do
think,
sound too. Maybe the sound will give me ideas for what I want to do with light.
oh, there you go. Have you ever read the book Musicophilia by Oliver Sacks?
No.
I think that's the one that's about synesthesia. It's quite fascinating.
Huh? I'll have to give that a look.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jay. Thank you for all that you're doing. Thank you for being our guest. Thank you for being who you are and
No.
for talking about the things that you talk about and educating people in so many ways.
And thank
And
you for hosting a really good thing.
oh, well, we're
You
having
ladies are
fun.
doing great work.
And Jewel, do you have
Thank
any
you.
more questions?
I don't. Just, if there was something that you could let the audience know, one thing you wanted them to take away today, what would it be?
Well, you know, I've had 2 diseases that could have been extremely life-threatening, right? I went through liver transplant and I went through prostate cancer. And I think that the only thing that I could really think of is that it is such a gift to be able to come out with a positive attitude from that. And I wish everybody could. And I know it's not. I read a lot of, especially a lot of men who, on Facebook who went through prostate cancer who have severe depression based on it and stuff like that. So the only thing I want to say is that, if you find the way, there's life after all of that.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
you can go forward. And, I know it's not easy for everybody. I don't want to sound like a jerk.
Right.
But I do find that because of my foundation and because of my support, I have done it twice.
All right. And what is the name of the organization for both the donor and for the dogs?
So for donors, you could always look at Donate Life. Hold on. It's funny. I came
You have
prepared.
two shirts on.
Hold on. But hold on. Let's see. How many
Dun,
how
dun.
how many of your guests
Yeah.
undress for you?
If I would have known, I would have brought dollars. Who knew?
This is it. Donate
That's
Life,
that's
That's
great.
right?
wonderful.
And there's a Donate Life. There's an organ procurement thing for there are regions all throughout the United States that you can get in touch with. Again, if you are not an organ donor, you just have to go online, look at how to sign up through Donate Life and sign up. It is no longer required in most states to put a heart on your license because that makes people nervous. So you could just do it privately. So that's one thing. And there's lots of great dog rescues in the world. And I don't want to really name one. I'm working for one called True Rescue, TRU, which means they rescue us. But I pick none. Right. Every rescue is a great rescue, and every rescue has a great mission. And if you could foster a dog, as every rescue wants to say, they cannot save a dog unless they give it a place to go. And like I said, I'm kind of making a decision not to do that part of it anymore because it's not easy. And it's emotional. Like I said, my wife will cry every time a dog walks out the door. But it's not easy, but it's valuable.
It's rewarding too.
It's rewarding you.
Yeah.
So
Well, thank you. And
Thank
keep up
you.
that positive attitude. Keep
Yes.
sharing that.
I'm working on it. Life is interesting.
Oh boy. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
Fran knew me when I was a little down at one point. So, but
That's okay.
well,
You're entitled, but you came
no,
out the other side. That's what's important.
yeah,
that
And
is.
you're making other people happier and
I
more
hope.
fulfilled. And
Yeah. And
yeah,
you're definitely making the world a better place.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank
And
you.
Thank you.
thanks for joining us.
Quite
Yes.
right. Enjoy.
All right. So this has been another episode of A Better World with Julann and Fran with our guest, Jay Herzog. Please like and share this video, and please join us again next week, won't you? Okay. Well, actually not next week, in 2 weeks, because we're not doing one next week. Okay. Thank you. So long for now.